From pickdogs.com and sportschatplace.com. It is Thursday. It's turkey burger night at our house Thursdays. And it is July 16th, 2020, here with your live show. We're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We got even more live shows coming on your way. So pretty excited about all that stuff and really excited about the restart of sports this week. This time next week, we'll be talking about two crappy baseball games and acting like, something's actually happening. But the next day, we'll have a full slate of games, and that's really when sports begins. I hate when they just have like one or two games. Why not just start them all? It's like they used to do this with Major League Baseball, and actually this year, they schedule it like they have like one game, on Sunday night or something like that. And then like the next day, they have a full slate of games. This year, baseball was actually scheduled to have the full slate right out of the gate because, once again, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to do it this way. But I guess, I don't know. I have no idea why they're doing it this way. It doesn't make any sense at all. But at least they're playing as far as we know. And we saw some sports yesterday as well. Got Steve Monahan, Chris Ruffalo, and Rod Zawacki all with us. We just had a little discussion before the show. Rod was saying EPL, like, are they going to play during the week and stuff like that? And I almost fell asleep during the conversation, just hearing international soccer talk. But anyways, got a lot of stuff going on. Got the premium area up and rolling, still working out the kinks, and it's perfect timing, right, to work out the kinks because not a lot going on. And then by the end of this week, it's going to be zipping. It's going to be awesome. But anyways, we got Steve Monahan with us. We talked about free agents yesterday, and pretty much came and went. Only Myles Garrett really inked the big one there, and Derrick Henry. But, very little of that money guaranteed. Someone knows what they're doing in the contract department there, right? And so I gotta turn the air on in here. It's about 600 degrees in this room. But anyways, so what do you think? Dak Prescott not getting his contract. Probably a lot of the reasons that we talked about yesterday, that whole $500,000 a quarter thing, maybe. I don't know.
It's not surprising. We talked about it yesterday. So he plays under the franchise tag. The Cowboys offered 4 years, I think, and Prescott wanted 5, et cetera, et cetera. So I think they'll be looking for a new quarterback next year is what I think is going to happen. I think McCarthy has his eyes on somebody. And everybody's going to be in on the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes too, So maybe Trevor Lawrence is under consideration because a lot of teams are going to probably want to move up and see what they can do to get him.
This year we had the Tua sweepstakes, and then he ended up not going first. So there's no guarantees that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Going to be
just a conspiracy theory there. That's all.
It's like you have to remember you go back through almost every draft, and there's been controversy over who's going to be the first one taken. Is it going to be Rick Mirer? Is it going to be Ryan Leaf? Is it going to be these guys were all mentioned as number one overalls.
Right.
David Klingler,
Yep.
all mentioned as number one overall picks, and it didn't go. So I like Trevor Lawrence. I like him a lot, but a lot of football, hopefully, to be played between now and then.
Now, Derrick Henry's contract, reasonable.
Yeah,
very reasonable.
Right, it's $50 million on the surface, but guaranteed.
25 is guaranteed.
Guaranteed, and that's
guess what? The Titans 9 years ago actually gave Chris Johnson more money in a contract than what they just gave Derrick Henry. I found that to be pretty interesting. Let's say.
I like the home run hitters. Chris Johnson, definitely a home run hitter.
Yeah. So, what is there? I think there's 11 or 12 players that are playing under the franchise tag, and they'll be going to work soon. So, it is what it is.
It is, what it is, and they are getting paid. That's for sure. No one's working for free in the
Nope.
NFL or any other sport these days. I thought it was pretty interesting that Victor Oladipo, and this is what I said about athletes and the good ones, right? The really good ones. Very, very hard for them to sit around and watch.
Yeah,
The
he's
guys
always been
who
a
are
good
the real,
player.
the guys who are
He's
the
always been competitive.
right,
So
the
I'm not
guys who are the
surprised by
real
that.
gamers, the best of the best. There is no way that they can voluntarily sit and watch the game if they have the ability to play. And it's like, like we've talked about Iverson, over the last couple days, and things like that, franchise player, Dak Prescott, all this other stuff. But really, Iverson missed a practice, and it's the most talked about thing of his entire career. Meanwhile, this guy would never miss a game. He would never take the rest day, load management. You would have to pry his dead corpse off the court to get him to not play. And I think
agree.
I think seeing that from Victor Oladipo, it doesn't surprise me, and I think we're going to see.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
Doesn't surprise me one
Absolutely.
bit, and I think we're gonna. Here's a guy that came back from a major injury. He's clearly, when he plays. The weird thing is, and I know I'm going to get hammered for this, but when he was drafted in that draft class, and you looked at all the players, and this was my comment at the time on our show, and I'll fess up to it and say that I said this. I said of all the guys in this draft class, of the Victor Oladipo draft class, this is the one guy that has the most athletic ability to be the Michael Jordan of the entire class. And I think he's shown he might not be Michael Jordan, but I think when you look at his draft class, and we'll take a look at it. Maybe I should have done some preparation, but I wasn't. I was going to save this for my last part, so it's going to be a real winger at the end today. But when you look at his draft class,
And what year was that?
we're gonna look at it. We're gonna say he
It's
was
probably
drafted.
7 years in the league, I would say. Something like that.
Victor Oladipo makes less money than. All right, so the number one pick. Okay,
And what year?
it was 2013. So the number one pick was Anthony Bennett, right? That's Ruffalo probably liked that one. Then
Bust.
yeah, so Oladipo was taken by the Magic, and then he was traded. Okay, then Otto Porter went, who's good, right? Otto Porter's a good player. He's just
Yeah,
he
he is.
just moved teams this year. Cody Zeller, Alex Len, Nerlens Noel, who a lot of people thought should have been number one overall instead of Bennett,
Right.
Ben McLemore, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, who to me has had a ton of talent, and he's still kind of bouncing around a little bit, right? He hasn't really found his place. He's still in the game. He might be in the G League. I'm not sure, but I do believe he plays with the varsity at this point. He's good. Trey Burke, C.J. McCollum, Michael Carter Williams, who's bounced.
Yeah, but C.J. McCollum is at the head right now of.
Steven Adams, Kelly Olynyk. This is a good draft. Shabazz Muhammad, the Greek Freak at 15.
Wow. In that draft, huh?
Yep.
Out of where?
Greece.
Yeah, right.
Lucas Nogueira, Dennis Schroeder, Shane Larkin, Sergei Krasnev, Tony Snell, Gorgie Dieng, Mason Plumlee, Solomon Hill, Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock, Andre Roberson, Rudy Gobert at 27. Some solid
Rudy
value.
Gobert.
Yep.
The Rudy Gobert?
Some solid value there. Tony Mitchell drafted 37th in that draft.
Some interesting names in that draft.
Yeah, it's the top is loaded. It's a great lottery, except you take out Bennett. You take out Bennett and Noel, and you got some seriously heavy hitters in there.
C.J. McCollum stands out to me as probably having the best career of these guys. Oladipo, obviously, has had a very good career too.
Yeah, McCollum's good. You know, like I said, I think Otto Porter. He signed a massive contract, I believe, with the Bulls, right?
They did.
So, and he deserved it. He got out of Washington. That's no small feat in itself.
That in itself is a commendable thing.
See, he did get out of Washington. Wow, that's it's a pretty big stack of pancakes right there. All right. Anything
But
else?
they got the tip line in the bubble for the NBA players now. Ooh.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but sports is what are we, a week away? Just about. Shopping at the bit.
All right. But anyways, just working something out with somebody on my email, but that's really about it in as far as sports news. I think no news is good news though for some of these other guys, and I think we'll see.
Ed Orgeron met with Mike Pence and absolutely said we need to have football. So the SEC is going to make that decision for football in about 2 weeks or so.
Mike Pence is still alive?
Yeah, Vice President Mike Pence. He's still alive.
Is he?
He is.
Usually these vice presidents, they kind of just fade his act. I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news, so I've never heard him actually say a word. So I have no idea. Pence is one of those guys that he probably could be in line, at the Safeway, like picking up a jar of peanut butter or something, and I wouldn't know it.
Right.
I wouldn't know it was him. He's one of those guys.
Did you see that Tommy Tuberville won the GOP Senate runoff in Alabama, beat Jeff Sessions? So the ex-coach of Auburn and Cincinnati is going to be running in November for the U.S. Senate.
Also,
with no political experience whatsoever.
Miami Hurricanes assistant coach out of the Jimmy Johnson coaching tree.
He was Tuberville?
Tuberville, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Go to our reference. I believe he was in the Jimmy Johnson. If not, he was in the Dennis Erickson. But we can look at we can go to the reference here, and we could say this is.
He had a good run as a college coach.
Yeah, let's see. Oklahoma. Let's see.
What year is that program?
This is the 88 National Championship game, Jimmy's championship.
Okay.
So let me see. No, this was so he had to have been Tuberville had to have been on Erickson's because this is the Gary Stevens, Dave Wannstedt, Butch Davis, Dave Campo staff. There's a great picture actually in one of these programs. I know I'm digressing here, but there's a really, really good one that I want to show you guys from the other program. I'm going to put this one back.
And Jimmy took most of them with him to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, let me put this one back. It's going to knock over Evel Knievel there. But, oh, what a mess. All right, we'll have to fix that later. But this one will have the Tuberville in it. And let's see if we can find Tommy in here. But yeah, I'm ready for football and college football. I love going to the games, too, and I'm going to miss that part. I like going to the big games, of course. Meet the Huskers. This is a great one.
The Patriot League canceled football. Even that's 1AA essentially. The Fordhams, that type of thing.
So wait a minute. There he is. So I think you guys will be able to see that. You can see the second one over in the middle of the page, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
There he is, The Rock.
Yep, right there.
Right.
From there's his Canes picture. Looks a little different.
It's slightly.
Not quite as chiseled.
No.
But that's
No, he is not.
This was the Rock team. But I'm pretty
He's
sure.
had a pretty good movie career.
Pretty sure Tommy. No, I think Tommy was on a different Jimmy Johnson. He wasn't on
Where,
this
Oklahoma State, maybe?
one. No, he was on He was from the Hurricanes.
No, he was.
Tuberville
Okay.
was definitely from Miami. We'll have to find that out. Well, I mean, we do have Google. It's usually a good one for us, and we are a little thin here on content, aren't we?
Whoever was 88 to 93. Whoever coached him from 88 to 93.
That would be Erickson.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the '94 Orange Bowl that they lost, the Tommy Frazier Nebraska team that they lost to, which in hindsight went on to win back-to-back national championship.
Yes, they
3
did.
out of 4. So no shame in that loss,
No.
even though it was a home loss, and we weren't too used to that. And everyone thought, and most of the people that I knew that weren't Hurricane fans, favorite part of the game was that my voice was gone for the next week. It's like, I just called to hear your voice. It's like, after screaming, "This ain't Kansas" for 3 quarters, and then they come back and beat us.
I can imagine the other things you must have been screaming.
Yeah. As long as we're not sitting next to those expletive Nebraska fans.
Right.
Yeah. Got a
They
little.
were a good Nebraska team.
Back in my drinking days. The Warren Sapp Hurricanes. Dwayne Johnson. Anyways, speaking of Warren Sapp Hurricanes, we're going to bring in the Puck Dogs here. I want to talk to you guys about meatballs and some other UFC happenings last night. I picked one UFC fight and did some damage. But let's see what we got. Hey guys, how's it going? Morning.
Yeah, it's going.
So the meatball got grounded up and sauced in the last night, but the fights that I watched, which was some of them were better than others, but I really thought that the two things that I saw from last night's, I thought Ben Benoit won that fight. I don't know, man. Maybe.
He did too. He put it out on social media.
Oh,
after.
did he?
He said, he said I won that fight.
Yeah, I thought he won the fight. I thought that that the other guy maybe landed more blows, but it was like Mike Tyson shots against like Floyd Mayweather shots, right? It was like tap, 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 tap. And when he hit him, even with the kicks, it was like almost every one looked like the guy was going to get knocked out. So I thought that he won. Maybe the round where he was on the ground, they gave him something. I don't know. I've struggled with the UFC because it was a unanimous decision too. All by the same score. So I thought that one, and I thought that the guy from Sweden was just nuts. But I don't understand. So maybe this is a rule thing that I don't know. But when the guy comes in for the leg dive like that, what is preventing the other guy from just winding up and just uppercutting him right in the face, Not like trying to avoid it, but just as he's coming in for the sweep, just come in with an uppercut, a knee, or a kick. What would prevent him from doing that? I don't know. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? It's like, this is what the guy's clearly going to do that. So when he goes down, I mean, he's basically moving downward into your knee. It's like it would be the end of the fight.
Well,
Just bring it on up. Knee him in the face.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. I mentioned it with the Jorge Masvidal. That's how one of his fights went viral. The 5-second knockout against Ben Askren. Askren came out firing right off the opening bell. He was going to go for a takedown. Masvidal kneed him in the face, knocked him out in 5 seconds.
So the Swedish guy with the Russian name, I couldn't tell you his name. Chesnikov or something.
Chimaev.
Yeah. It's clearly the most impressive fighter of the night. I mean, clearly, at least, let's talk about his opponent. Was he just overmatched, as far as, this was a guy that, or is this guy the next Manny Pacquiao of MMA?
I think it was more overmatched than anything. I think it's still a little bit too early to
It
just
was
jump
utter
to say
domination. I mean, it was thorough domination.
Yeah. I still he's probably going to be one of the up and comers in the division, but I need to see more than a couple fights. I think that fight might have been taken on short notice as well.
On this, there's contact information on our websites. This is one of them, and this is one of them, and this is one of them, and that's one of them. But if you need to get in touch with me, I'm super easy to get in touch with. I'm on Facebook. We have 2 Facebook groups. We have 3 Facebook pages. I have 2 emails, Mitch at sportschatplace.com, Mitch at pickdogs.com. I don't know, man. I've never had anyone have trouble getting in touch with me. So I'm super easy. So any of those ways work. The best way is email, Mitch at sportschatplace.com or Mitch at pickdogs.com. Anyways, back to business. Chris?
But yeah, no, that was he's may have smothered John Phillips in that fight. That was a beat down. I mean, and it was not bad for his promotional debut either. So, I mean, we'll see where he goes from here. But if that's what a lot of his fights are going to look like, he could be the next big thing in that division.
Rod?
I think for sure he was the fighter of the night. Anyways, out of all the matches we watched, it was pretty good. The main event was pretty good. It wasn't bad. That height difference, big advantage there. Holy 4 inches, you'd be surprised. That's huge difference. He tried.
Yeah.
Any other notes and news and notes from the card? It wasn't the best card. It wasn't the worst that we've seen.
I mean, I think you can make a case that Qatar is probably in line for a title fight with one more win. I think, we talked about Max Holloway and how it's hard to give a trilogy fight when the guy loses the first 2. But I think if you set up a fight between Qatar and Holloway, I think that would be a good fight to see who gets Volkanovski next.
Mitch is
that.
is also up at 3:30 in the morning every day, and he does this show at 4:30 a.m. his time. He also usually has a conference call of some sort before the show, and he has one after the show as well. So it's not like as all I do is surf and play golf. I surf and play golf. That's like my 2 hours, 3 hours off a day. The rest of the time, from the time I get up till the time I go to sleep, everyone knows, fully immersed. And, starting next week again, it'll be the whole video thing all over again. In your face, more than you want. So we also had some NASCAR yesterday. Chase Elliott, the winner. Jeter, not even close on that one with his picks. And Rod, you missed Chase Elliott as well. It's just these all-star races just tough to call. Is that what's going on here?
They're so short. It's like, just when it looks like they're getting going, it's over. It's like,
that's what she said.
It's 85 laps. It's short. Like, I can't even.
I heard the start of what was gonna come out of Mitch there, and then I kind of broke.
Did he freeze?
No,
all of a sudden I heard
no.
this, and then
No, there was a that's what she said coming.
oh, okay.
It was just too easy.
That's what she said.
But anyways,
Yeah.
we got soccer today. That Lazio match yesterday, 0-0, that was against Udinese. A lot
I
of
think
people,
they're just running out of steam.
yeah, and also Liverpool running out of steam, right? Arsenal.
Liverpool don't care. They
Yeah.
already won. They don't care. Well, what do they got to win for?
Yeah,
that was a total fix to take your money.
Our Arsenal needed the points more, and Liverpool were there to sort of play out the string.
Yeah, they weren't have no interest in winning that game.
What do we have
They were
today?
Well, there's a full slate of La Liga because they're in their last 2 weeks of the season, so they're playing all the games on one day. There's 4 EPL and a couple Serie A. I have one Serie A in the premium area. But a couple I'll give out here. The first one, I like Athletic Bilbao money line in the La Liga against Leganes. Bilbao is still fighting for a Europa League spot, and they're just a better team. Leganes is struggling in the relegation zone. They're probably going down soon. So I'll take Bilbao on the money line, minus 110.
Rod.
The only two games I like today, both in Syria. The first one I'm going with is Torino and Genoa. Both these teams looking for points. They need points, want points. Give me the first half draw. I think this is going to be a close battle before we actually get going. It's going to be tense for beginning to this game. I don't think we're going to come out and be flying. Both teams need points, and be cautious first half. Give me Torino and Genoa draw.
The NBA actually has a preseason that starts on the 22nd. So NBA preseason on the 22nd. Real games start on the 30th. MLB next Thursday.
For me, for my second one, I'm going to the EPL. I like Manchester United minus 1.5 against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace missing a couple of their key players, missing Christian Benteke, Gary Cahill, a couple key pieces to that lineup. United is just a better team even with them in the lineup. So I'll take United minus 1.5 here at minus 105.
Rod?
And the last one I like is Inter Milan versus Spal. Give me Inter Milan minus 1.5. We've seen what Spal has done, which is a whole lot of nothing. So give me Inter Milan. They need the points, minus 1.5.
And my last one, I like under 2.5 in the Everton Aston Villa game. I just think this is a low scoring game. I don't think we see more than 2 goals, so I'll take the under 2.5. So I'll parlay those under 2.5. Everton Aston Villa, Manchester United minus 1.5, and Athletic Bilbao money line should be plus 607.
Yeah, after next week, I believe we still will be covering soccer. We're just not going to do it on this show. We're going to have its own show with its own soccer people. This will be the last week I sit through this soccer. I'll be honest with you. I can't do it. You know, I'm about done.
Sorry, I got a little excited.
I'm just done. You know, it's like I think we have some other cappers and other people who would offer a lot more value instead of me sitting here mocking the names of the teams. You know, it's like I just, you know, I don't even enjoy that anymore. It's like if I'm tired, it's like I can't even enjoy it. You know, it's like, but really, I think I love the World Cup. I like the Euro tournament. I like the big stuff. You know, I just. You know, Udinese versus Lazio. I could skip that one. I sit that one out.
Come on, you want some bologna parm? I know you do.
Well, with the new yeah, everyone on our show, we post in the Pick Dogs Facebook group and the Sports Chat Plays Facebook group. That's what this show is. So, and we also on the Chris's picks are on the website. On Sports Chat Place, his MLB and stuff like that, and his soccer picks are all on pickdogs.com. And he posts a parlay in soccer every day, underdog bets, value bets, all kinds of stuff in there. He's posting all kinds of soccer. He's getting his kicks. But that's all on pickdogs.com. And, of course, our Facebook group is Pickdogs. And then we have another one for Sports Chat. We have 2 Facebook groups, which I'd love to figure out a way to consolidate those. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll consolidate the Sports Chat into the Facebook. What happened with the Sports Chat Facebook group is that I wasn't in control, the moderator, for about 6 months. So the people that were moderating, they weren't quite as diligent as I am in letting people in. If you ever notice, our Facebook group, the Pick Dogs Facebook group, has very few spammers, very few idiots, very few. I mean, people are going to slip in, but you don't see these, I'm giving out money, you're all blessed, give me your Cash App, right? You don't see that stuff as being spammed in Pick Dogs, but in Sports Chat you see it, and these are the same people that were let in by, these guys who just let everybody in, It's like, I would say in Sports Chat and Pick Dogs Facebook groups that we turn away more people than we let in with me doing it. I don't want the spammers. It's like, welcome to our group so you can spam it. It's like, I'm not going to let it happen. And if people aren't spammers and I do reject them from our group, generally they'll send me a message and say, hey, how come you're rejected from the group? Right? So anyways, we'll bring Monahan back in. Speaking of spammers, Monahan's better half, Carmela's birthday today, so a very happy birthday, special birthday to Carmela. And if you make her bake her own cake, that's pretty awesome. It's pretty lame. Steve's like, she already baked it. What am I supposed to do? Steve and Carmela broke up, and we let him know we're clearly on Carmela's side in this.
Oh, yeah. Believe me.
I wore my Team Carmela shirt for a week. Don't worry, Steve, we support you, but I'm not going to take sides, except
I'm just waiting for Mitch to come online with a bedazzled hashtag Team Carmela shirt. Just all sparkly.
That's what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, speaking of sparkly, Chris, what do you got for us?
Just to go back to the UFC last night, we were talking about the Benoit and I can't remember the other guy's name, Tim Elliott fight. It was a really good fight, and I think it was just going to show that the UFC made the right call by not getting rid of the flyweight division a couple years ago when they got rid of a lot of the talent. I mean, it's just two guys with different styles. They threw everything at each other. It was a shame that the fight had to go to the scorecards, and it's another controversy that we've had on Fight Island. But you know what? Like I said, I think keeping the flyweights around was definitely the right decision on the UFC's part.
Chris, I'm going to ask a question here.
Sure.
Let's see if I can get my picture on there with you. Where am I? So, it was listed as a co-main event. Why wasn't it 5 rounds?
I'm not sure that. The only thing that I know is for these fights that don't have a title fight, the main event is 5 rounds, and then for the pay-per-views, the co-main event will only be 5 rounds if it's a title fight.
Then why is it called a co-main event if it's not 5 rounds? What is this? What kind of crap are they trying to pull? Actually, we have a connection to Dana White. Maybe we should get him on and ask him. I'm serious.
I'd like to know as well.
I'd like to know.
Actually, you bring up a very good point.
We actually do have a connection there, so we'll have to see if we can get him on and ask him because I'm interested. I don't understand why you call it that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, speaking of not making sense, Rod, what's up?
Not a whole lot. I'm a couple things I was looking at in the news in Edmonton. NHL's reached out to a couple of restaurants in Edmonton, wanting them to shut down completely and be just open for the NHL all day. And the few restaurants that were in the media said, no, we will not shut down our restaurants completely for the NHL. We want to still be open to the public. If they want to come in and have a meal here in our restaurant, they are more than welcome to.
I tried that with the shrimp taco stand down the street, and they wouldn't do it here either for me.
And then the other news for me was, which I'm kind of surprised at, was big news in the WNBA. Their big star Della Donna got denied. She wanted to opt out due to medical issues and not play in the 2020 season because of COVID. She's got a huge issue, and the WNBA denied her and said, no, get in there and you have to play. What's going to happen with that, I don't know. Whether she goes on strike, I don't know. But I think if she's got health issues, I think she should be able to opt out.
Dana White, we do have a connection. But anyways, Steve?
On this date in history, Joe DiMaggio hit in his 56th consecutive game in 1941. And Wee Willie Keeler is in second place at 45 games hit in a row, and that was in the late 1800s. And then Peter Edward Rose is the next third all time at 44 games. So it was a great streak. DiMaggio goes 0 for 3 the next day, and literally he basically hit 72 out of 73 games with ridiculous batting statistics throughout the streak. And the other thing I wanted to mention, Drew Holiday on the Pelicans, him and his wife Lauren, who played on the U.S. national soccer team, are donating, or Drew Holiday is actually donating his salary from the upcoming season, which is over remaining $5 million, and they're starting a social justice program for minority businesses, things like that, people in COVID. Just want to acknowledge Drew Holiday. It's not that's a nice chunk of change. So, hats off. That's it.
All right, let's see what we got. All right, we're to my second section. So, it is that time again, time for the restart, and we have a question here from Nick Bocher. He's trying to purchase Chris Play of the Week and keeps saying there's an error when I click on it. It won't load the basket for me to purchase. Well, we have a couple issues here. The best way we're going to have a lot of people with questions like this. It's just the nature of the beast. E-commerce, not an easy thing. It's just it's amazing for how many years people have been buying stuff online, how not together this process is across the board, from Amazon to us to anybody. But if you have questions like that, you email me, Mitch@sportschatplace.com or Mitch@pickdogs.com, and we'll work it through. Like, from that, I don't know what you're doing, at what point you're getting that error and what you're doing. So you have to go through this with me at email. This show can't be your personal customer service. As much as we love you, as much as we appreciate you, as much as we appreciate the support, we can't dedicate this show to fixing one person's problem, especially, coming up when we're going to have, 500-600 people watching at a time like we normally do. And speaking of which, I just can't wait to do it. I'm still holding off on my videos because I'm going to lose my material of all the other guys doing their videos for games that are like in 6 months because they have nothing to talk about. So we'll just continue to mock those guys, and you guys know what's going to happen. Here comes the hammer, right? Going to be a ton of videos, ton of free picks, ton of premium picks, ton of value, ton of all of that stuff. But I'm really excited for the restart, and I've been posting stuff in the Facebook group, just generic questions. And yesterday was just, is everyone psyched? And today was, we're going to list what NBA team's going to bust up our parlay first. We don't have the Timberwolves to kick around. I think it's the Rockets for me, but I saw Cliff came in with a solid suggestion there of the Philadelphia 76ers. I know Ruffalo is on the Lakers to bust up his parlay. We saw the Lakers absolutely fall apart in the last 3 minutes of a lot of games earlier this season to not cover double-digit point spreads and win in the 8-9 range when they were up in the 20s. Yeah. This is what we've been missing out on. I'm really excited to get back into it. And, I've dedicated my life to sports, and, not just since I've been doing Sports Chat Place and Pick Dogs for the last 14 years, literally my whole life. Even when I was working, all I was doing was talking about sports. So I've been fired from jobs because all you do is talk about sports all day. Well, and some other things. And some other things, too. But anyways, anyone got anything else to add here? We all good? Tiger Woods?
No, he's playing.
Yes, he is.
He's not up on the leaderboard, I don't think, right now.
I don't even think he's teed off yet, has he?
That's true, too.
Makes it tough to make the leaderboard when you haven't hit the ball.
He's playing with Koepka and...
they haven't teed off yet.
Another big name. I think Rory. Is it Rory?
Rory, yeah.
I got it handed to me on the golf course yesterday. King Kamehameha Golf Club 1, Mitch 0. I got crushed. It's like today's one of those days people are like, hey, you're going to play with us tomorrow? I'm just going to go out by myself, play like 3-4 balls, kind of work some things out.
Work the kinks out.
Yeah. It's like, it's like in our club, the fairway bunkers are like greenside bunkers. They are a full stroke penalty. It's like you cannot like smack a 5-iron out of there. You can't do it. Anyways, have a great day, everyone, and we will see you at same time tomorrow.